Who's ready for a little more summertime weather? T-Rex, jump up and down if you're excited to start your Tuesday. Any other ones? Yeah, there goes another one. 59 degrees. It's not even 8 a.m. yet, Tuesday, October 22nd. Are we going for record warmth again today? Definitely, maybe, especially away from the ocean. There's going to be a slight change in the direction and velocity. Well, velocity of wind is direction and magnitude. So the wind's going to come in from off the ocean a little bit today. Not that strong, but enough that the planes are taking off toward the east and then making noise over my house every few seconds. And there's the moon. Steve Turnblom sent me an image of the moon this morning. He says, what planet is that to below the moon? And that was the planet Saturn. Jupiter. It was Saturn last week. It's Jupiter. And tonight, if you get up, if you stay up and watch the moon come up at midnight, or just before midnight, the moon is going to be below Jupiter and above Mars. Interesting, very low tide. Look at that little point break of surf over there. I know my audio changes when I zoom in like this. There's Hull. What a gorgeous morning. So earlier, the James Goodwin went by, that workboat that I talked about a couple days ago, and Matthew looked it up and told us all about the James, K. Goodwin. It's a research vessel, well appointed, with 2 heads with showers and a nice laboratory with air conditioning and heat and stereo and big screen TV and a barbecue. And I'm thinking, if I ever had to work on a ship, that would be a ship I would want to work on, doing research for a number of agencies, including the Army and the DCR. Thank you, Matthew. And I love the viewers' comments. And while I'm thinking of it, North Adams, Massachusetts, the home of one of our viewers, Kate, New England, this morning. North Adams, Massachusetts is again one of the cool spots at a temperature in the mid-40s and light wind. So the temperature did cool to the dew point last night. Many spots there in northern Maine were in the 30s, but then you get to the city areas like Boston and the hilltops, again in the 50s to near 60 degrees. But we were able to decouple the atmosphere, and Kate shares a picture of her cat, Janie, watching out the door. So Janie, we've got a cat that watches. Look at the bird right there. Sorry, interrupted Janie. But the birds, it's like we're buddies. Look at the birds sitting right on top of the burning bush. They look like sparrows. They're sparrows, right? Steve loves looking at them. So Steve and Janie. And also our friend Sterling Sigerson has a dog and his daughter. They named it T-Rex. Oh, thank you, Sterling. And family, I'm sorry, it's been a while. I just thought of it. I forgot your daughter's name. But come back to Vermont, Sterling. We had some snow. The snow is pretty much gone now, though. Well, we're talking about friends and texting. Steve Turnblom with the moon this morning. This text came in yesterday from Josh Worth, who was skiing last week and now is working outdoors in 60-degree air near Jay. He says that the San Juan Mountains of southwestern Colorado, the skiers there were reporting an all-time snowstorm. Not talking about middle of winter. They're talking about any time. I mean, not talking about the middle of autumn. They're talking about any time, including the middle of winter. This one single snowstorm in the last week, it was part of that whole Roswell, New Mexico flood and the Arizona Snow Bowl thunder snow. It's stalled over southwestern Colorado, and they have feet of snow. Thank you, Dalton Hebron, for sharing the imagery, hiking and getting it wherever they can. Some people will just chase snow anywhere. I like to wait for things to come to me. And the next thing to come to me is going to be this little backdoor front today. I think it doesn't have a big role, but it's just going to reduce the wind flow. So yesterday, one of the reasons it was so warm, here's that table of high and low temperatures, and this one is from late yesterday, so it shows yesterday's high and low temperatures. And I think what really sticks out, so many spots in the 80s. Yes, it was the warmest October 21st in our life. Yesterday morning in Norwood, it was 36 degrees, and then it went up into the mid 80s in the afternoon, so nearly a 50-degree temperature rise. That's what can happen when you have a high barometer and low humidity and a wind from the west. See, when the air comes down the hills, it compresses, and that heats up the air even more. And yeah, it was almost hot in the sun. I spent a lot of time sitting right there, listening to YouTube, watching YouTube. Yesterday I said, my title, this video helps you sleep. And I think it does help you sleep. I watch YouTube videos that are kind of, slow talking sometimes, and a lot of information, hard to keep track, and it can put you to sleep. So I think I might start advertising my videos as a way to help you sleep. For example, listen to the waves coming on the shore here. Wake up! Sorry, feeling a little giddy. I don't even know what boat generated those. All right, so you want to do some weather? This backdoor front, it shows up on the Weather Prediction Center map this afternoon as a decaying front. It's almost going to fall apart. So to the west of that, we're still going to have temperatures close to 80 with possible record high temperatures again today. And to the east of it, just 70s and 60s right at the beaches. While we're talking about record highs, it wasn't just New England. Here's the coolwx.com site, cool weather, and it shows your record lows and highs, and the same website we used last week to track the record cold as this high pressure system came in and reversed, and now it's a record warm high pressure system from North Dakota and Minnesota to Massachusetts and Maine. Widespread, warmest ever October 21st in our life. And I think there's going to be more records today. The front that's coming at us for Thursday is really kind of weakening dramatically in the output, and I think a little bit has to do with what's going on away from that front, including this ocean storm. So let's look at the tropical situation right now. What was Nadine into Mexico and Guatemala and Belize went over into the Pacific Ocean and now has a new name. It's Tropical Storm Christy, expected to intensify to a major hurricane moving west away from Mexico. It skirted Acapulco last 24 hours, where it was so hard hit with that Kirk that came around twice, with Acapulco getting creamed. And to its east, Oscar is just almost a non-entity. There's no convection near the center of what they're still calling barely Tropical Storm Oscar. And it's getting merged with that storm that went off of New England last Thursday, the one that was off to the south of Cape Cod, went down to the south, and now the two are kind of forming a new storm, and that's going to turn into quite a storm center that's going to go very close to Bermuda, well east of the United States, but it's going to be intensifying and getting bigger and bigger. It won't have a name, but it will have the ferocity of a at least tropical storm, almost looking like a hurricane out there in a couple of days. Should we show that one? I think I'm going to show that in a second. While it's on my mind, I forgot to mention the fire danger in New England is up so high because it hasn't rained, and there's a fire. It's called a surface fire in Berlin, Connecticut, and Craig Balicki, hope I got your name right, has been photographing it, and the firefighters let it just burn last night because it's not near any homes. It's not moving very fast, as bad as it looks. They say it's no threat to any structures, so nobody's being evacuated, and they're back out there this morning where the air is calm and the temperature is in the 40s, so it's good. It's a surface fire. It's actually really healthy for the woods right there. It cleans out the brush down below and really fertilizes, and those trees will be even more healthy next year thanks to this fire. But it would be scary if that was coming up to your back door, wouldn't it? Okay, now back to the storm that's going to form at sea. It's the biggest ticket item we have, as the Thursday front is looking weaker and weaker, and I think this storm at sea is going to steal some of its energy. So let's look at how this evolves at this sector. From on the lower left is Florida. Then you have the East Coast, and the upper right is Nova Scotia, and there's the low. It's a combination of the remnant of Oscar and the remnant of our storm that was 2 hours south last Thursday, and here it goes on our Wednesday. It's getting bigger and stronger. Winds near the center are sustained, close to 50 miles an hour. And then if we stop it on Thursday morning, this is 11 a.m. Thursday, our front that's coming into New England will have almost fallen apart, and I think it's getting absorbed by that storm offshore. And there's a little band of rain there near New Jersey, so the stakes are still fairly high for error with this, as that storm is trying to reach west and join forces with the front. Either way, it's going to be strong wind from the northeast right along the Cape Cod National Seashore, and surf. There will be a ground swell coming at us. Put that back into motion. That storm does deepen down through the 980s right to about 979 as it goes ashore in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia. Tim, lose the accent. I haven't worked on TV in so long. Slow down. That's a major storm for Nova Scotia. I have no idea why we put R's where they don't belong and don't put them where they do belong. Anyhow, warm air is here again today, especially away from the shore. The Boston 5-day show, the Boston 5-day with the temperature in the mid-60s, probably right at the beach, closer to 60 with a light east breeze. But then once you move inland about 20 miles, we're 75 to 80 again today, and likely in the low 80s west of the Connecticut River. And then the front does come in with just some scattered showers tomorrow night, and then Thursday is more windy from the north. Temperatures are much cooler again. Oh, and did I skip right over it? Tomorrow we're back in the 70s. And then Thursday we start to cool off, and the forecast for the weekend is still a moving target. Looks better than it did yesterday, but not as good as 2 days ago. So let's go to the Euro on the wider scale here and watch the front, and that storm that caused all that snow in Colorado is getting absorbed by the front as it moves into the Great Lakes, and then it falls apart right coming through New England tomorrow night, and Thursday it's almost a non-entity. And where's the cold air advection on Thursday? Going to stop it again at the same time as I just stopped that other map, 11 a.m. Where did the 540 line go? It's way just at the Canadian border and lifting to the north. So forget about the upslope snow now for the mountains here. It's much less robust of a front, and the cold is not really coming south. I guess that's good news for Thursday, and for Friday, another day of high pressure and warmer air coming back at us, so nowhere near as cool looking as it was before, but still more seasonable, 50s and 60s. And the Saturday front does not look as strong either. Time out for a second, watch another boat go by, and this is going to leave a nice wake. See, now that's a workboat too, and I'm sure it's fine with its galley and probably a bunk and a head, but not a couple of heads and a laboratory with DVD and a barbecue. It's probably a barbecue on there, but it is carrying one of those submersibles. I'm not sure if this is the Bluefin Robotics or not, or somebody else, but you can clearly see there's a little submarine in the back there. And I love the reflection of the waves on the bow of the boat. And that's going to make some nice sound to help you sleep here before we get to our end more. All right, let's quickly finish up this forecast. Take this front out through Saturday. Front comes in here, and it looks nowhere near as cold. It looks like a nice day for southern New England, all those events that I talked about. And what are those events? The Blue Hill National Weather Service, Southern New England Weather Conference at Meditech. You still can sign up. The Eldridge Farm Foundation Party and the TK Halloween Party. And that front is gone, and it leaves us in pretty nice shape going through the weekend. Whatever happened to the cold air and the front on Monday, it just is completely gone. And the next front looks like it's not going to get here until around Halloween, but not until probably Wednesday night and Thursday. So ahead of that, we may have record challenging warmth again the middle of next week for Halloween, before it looks like it tries to turn more seasonable and cooler around November 1st and 2nd. But the 5 to 10 day forecasts have been very unreliable, and I'm still thinking that maybe something could happen along our coastline on Thursday. And the surf weather from that storm is going to be south-facing shores. Did I already say that? Did I show the map with the period swell So it looks like it could get up to a 12-second period. And while I have you on surf, right before this wave arrives at our beaches, I'll show you the image from Rick in Agunquit, Maine this morning. Pardon me, I am pretty much over my head cold. He says, Cowabunga. There's a 2-foot swell at 13 seconds, so there's a tiny swell in Agunquit. Are you still there? Weir? Are you going on the water? All right, here's the part where it helps you sleep. Look at the waves. Waves are energy moving through time and fluid. And you're feeling very sleepy. You're going to sleep for 5 seconds and then wake up and watch the and more part of the video. The gulls, they were just jumping out of the way of the waves. Ride those waves. All right, you are now waking up and you're gonna watch the and more. The tanker Maersk Beaufort went by. Oh, there's a Carolina wren helping us in the background there. And we have some time left. Carolina wren, sound waves, refracting ocean waves. See when they hit the end of the jetty, how they refract, and now you got circular waves embedded in the lateral waves. Fascinating. And some sunset with Mitt. Everyone wants to see Mitt, more Mitt. Lucy enjoyed the worms, huh? And a lot of Mitt fans, including someone that had a cat that looked just like Mitt. Rest in peace, Val. All right, here's the and more from yesterday. Thanks for watching. Wake up. We'll be back again tomorrow. I don't know what that was either, Rex. Multiple sounds of cannon fire. I think it stopped. Did the Constitution do something? There it is again. That's the Constitution firing its cannons. T-Rex does not like it. Steve just went out the door. This happens all the time when I'm not looking. There he goes. He's gonna take off. I'm in trouble. Steve, that's good. Stop right there. Song sparrow. T-Rex. Cannons. What's going on around here? Plane's taking off toward the west. I like that part. Now I gotta go chase Steve. Stay. Jerk. These are neighbors that I'm not that familiar with. Steve knows it. Come here, Steve. Come on. Yes, make yourself at home right there. See that web camera? We're on candid camera. Come on, Steve. This way. Rascal. Nope. Stop. That was fun. How do people have human kids? I can't even take care of a dog and a cat. What happens when the humans escape? My mom used to just tie me to a tree. Rex is all like, I didn't do it. How about that? 78 degrees. What? It says there's a thunderstorm around. I don't think so. This time you're going out tied up. Wow, this is gorgeous. Who can blame you? The summer furniture came back out. I'm going right into that couch. Wind from the west is best, not a cloud in the sky. I didn't check the record high temperatures for today. I gotta go do that. Okay, I looked it up. Blue Hill is the station of record as far as I'm concerned. You can't see it, can you? The record for October 21 at Blue Hill Observatory is 79 in 1979. And the current temperature at the Blue Hill Observatory, not the official temperature, but the Davis Vantage Pro, is 80 degrees. So yes, we are in record territory here. Monday, October 21, 2014. Same thing happened back in September. Record cold high pressure came in, and a few days later, it was record warm high pressure. It's called high amplitude flow. Meantime, Josh Worth is sending me imagery and videos from the San Juan Mountains in Colorado, where they say it is off the charts, never before such snow so early in October. Yeah, mundane weather it is not. Even though it's so beautiful, there's a lot going on. Ah, I just missed it. There was a woodpecker right at the base of the flagpole. Darn. Steve didn't move on it. Now he is. I don't think I've seen him catch one bird. Mostly mice. And I saved the mice too. All the animals have gone over the cliff once. That's it, once. Actually, I don't think Mitt has. Mitt's the smartest one. Took me an hour to find Rex. I didn't know where he was. And Steve, I think I was here when it happened, so I got him pretty quickly. You gotta learn. Trial and error. 4 p.m., nice west wind, downsloping. So when the air comes down from the hills of central Massachusetts, it compresses and warms even further. And that has got us into the low 80s, the warmest October 21st ever in our life. And our father and our grandfather. There goes the ferry by Peddix Island, and there's a tanker coming in. Planes are landing from the east toward the west. And you know what time it is. Time for a TK time lapse of this tanker going by on this beautiful October 21st. Very small on the right there, but it'll get bigger and bigger. It's really big. Maersk Beaufort. Singapore flag. 179 meters, 570 feet long, moving 5 knots, about 200 degrees. Escorted by Independence. Admired by Steve, laying in the shade, headed underneath the Fore River Bridge. Time lapse. The Maersk. There's Mitt. Hey, Art. Mitto. And Steve's under there. Fairly lazy day. I moved from editing in the kitchen to the backyard lawn couch to hanging with Steve and getting time lapse of the boats and the sky, and planes. Mitt came out, and I never did elaborate that yesterday when I cleaned out my compost pile, I had to transplant some stuff that I just didn't want to kill because it was still looking so good, like this tomato vine. And it looks like it's not dehydrated yet, and the same thing with this dill and that tomato. So the gardening season goes on, but yeah, barefoot in the soil, barefoot in the compost worm chow pile. I mentioned I wanted to keep my garden going for a few more weeks because we don't usually get a frost, but if that guidance from last night was right, this Saturday front may bring a frost before Halloween, when it should warm up again next week. It's going to be close on that. So this is all ready for more grass clippings that just happen to be right here. And leaves are starting to fall as the sun goes down on this warmest October 21st ever in our life. Anyway, with still some traces of snow in Mount Washington. Wow. All right, so I'm gonna let that be it for today, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Play us out, Captain Spacetime. You knew I wasn't done. Can we get rid of that invasive Norway maple? Mitt hasn't moved an inch since we said that's it for today about a half hour ago. But breaking news, that beautiful sailboat that keeps going by, not under sail power, is going by under sail power. The jet streaks up there. Handsome this time. It is under sail power. Who are you? Get a beautiful boat. Sounds of the night. Count the number of chirps in 15 seconds and add 40. Temperature. It's like 70. What's this noise over here? It's probably a different cricket. A him and a her. Rubbing their legs together, flirting from different branches.